whatever's happening today, it's just not a good connection, so I had to split the Groom up into two parts, the broadcast. Maybe Danielle has something to do with that.
All me.
It's her.
I put magnetic interference in there.
As you can see, the Jagman is still in the tub. Hi, good boy. He's getting his bath in, and he's about to get blown dry. We took out all the burrs in the beginning. Again, they get burrs as they trek through the woods and engage on the adventures that we go on. We showed you how. Do you still have the blueberry soaking in his face?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm taking it off.
We have Nature's Specialties.
Sorry, it's a little dirty.
That's okay. Nature's Specialties.
Poppin' blueberry.
Poppin' blueberry. And that's what goes on his face.
It's tearless, and I use it straight. You can see it right there. Tearless.
Tearless, and she uses it straight.
Yep.
Very cool. Now, it says face and body. You don't use that
You can use it on the body, but I just that's what.
Show them what you use on the body.
That's the high con. It's the high concentrate. It's for extra dirty doggies.
Okay. So this was better. This is high concentrate shampoo by Nature Specialty, is also for dirty dogs. Are you calling my dog a dirty dog?
Not at all.
So this is what she uses.
And see, only one bath needed.
Only one bath needed.
And it's true to its word.
For 2 hours till they get back outside. Now these are high quality, good products.
Yeah, they're all
and
natural.
The reason I know it, because we do, as you know, a lot of adventuring, and the dogs get really dirty, and they maintain a nice coat in between grooms. So one day you'll see them super muddy, going through mud pits and going through the stream and getting all dirtied up. And the next day everybody will be like, well, did you get them groomed because they look so nice the next day? Actually, Jaggy's talking to us.
He's going to sing us a song of his people.
He's a good boy. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. He's just not liking the spray. But
actually, I'm surprised he's this quiet. Usually he talks all the time.
He does during the
Until
bath?
he's on the table, yeah.
Good boy, Jag.
Princess usually does too.
Really? Well, they're all
But Chase is your number one.
talker.
Surprising he was quiet today. Of course he's on camera.
That's why. He was being the perfect
He was
gentleman.
I don't talk at all. I've got video evidence that he does.
Hi, good boy. Yeah, you do. I've seen it.
You heard it.
That's true. So what we were saying is I get the dogs real dirty one day. The next day people will think they're groomed, but they're actually not, because they look so clean, because at night as the mud dries up, it just falls off of them because of the products we use on the dogs are so good. And that's when you know the dog's well maintained. Hi, good boy. Now, some of the dirt does impede the coat. You're all good,
Sounds
boy.
like he's like a stuffed animal. He doesn't sound real.
When he howls, he's like a hyena. He's like, oh, 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 oh. And you should hear it. It's one of the funniest things you ever witnessed. So we can
I'm just dry.
we can get all of the dogs howling if they hear a siren in the neighborhood. And dogs do that because they think it sounds like an animal in distress. And that's why the dogs will start howling along with it to try to signal to it when they don't realize it's a siren.
You don't live in the city.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know. They'd be doing it all the time. Look at that face. How can you not love that guy? Good boy, Jag. So Huskies are pretty vocal, and all of them are talkers in some capacity. I'll tell you a quick story. Danielle's having a tough time with this hose.
It's spraying everything. Oh God! Eventually, I'm going to just go to bed.
You'll make it there, Danielle, I promise. So she's turning Jag around in the bathtub.
He doesn't want to give me his head that way. He's just going to hang it over and soak everything. So
she's going to turn him around, and you see how he gets...
I don't fight the dogs. I just go with them.
Yes.
Here we go.
And that's natural for them to shake. That's how they dry themselves in the wild when they get wet, especially their head area.
He's like, no!
I'm not letting you wet my head. But a funny story is, when we were on an adventure once, there was in a busy area. A lot of people were there, and I was with my Wolf Driver pit crew, I call them, my team, because I need a team to run all these dogs and venture to the places we go. So we were harnessing the dogs up, and Chase, because he's so excited, he sounds like a wild man or a wild child. And a woman thought I was in there hurting the child. She was going to call the police. She said, "Are you hurting the child?" I said,
Yes.
"There's no child." well, what is that? And I had to show her it was the dog, and I was putting the harness on, and I wasn't hurting him. I would never hurt any dog, anybody, anything. And she's like, oh my gosh, it's just a dog making all that noise. I'm like, yeah, he's a husky and he's excited. It's like, oh. And then when I got them all ready to go on the dog-powered go-kart, she couldn't believe it because they wanted to go, and I had to have my brakes on.
Thank you.
Full strength.
Oh, I'm so
And they were raring to go, and they were just making all kinds of sounds like, oh my gosh, never seen anything like it. So it's like a pack of wild animals. Jag's making sure we get wet on the last dog tonight. We're doing.
It's just like in general, like you were talking about, people just don't understand. Like she thought that was a kid, and it was really just
The dog.
Chase. Yeah, people don't understand. Well, I was drying my eye. People don't understand that in grooming, like you were saying earlier, somebody was concerned about the dryer burning the dog and things like that. I don't get paid to hurt dogs.
Right.
It's not my job, and that's not. It's not even that I don't get paid. That's not in my job description. I'm here to help dogs.
Right. We would never.
We'll never do anything that we're gonna do to use is gonna hurt a dog. Just an FYI. Nothing.
Nothing we do.
Accidents can happen. You know, I mean, it's just part of life. It's you know.
And that's exactly when I'm out on an adventure with the dog. People say, well, shouldn't you water them now? Shouldn't you do this? Of course, we water them.
Yeah.
They're so well cared for.
Well, I mean, look, he's painting now, and it's not even hot in here.
Exactly.
So it's like it's just these guys. That's how they, you know, get. They can stress pant. They can do all sorts of things. Which right now, even though he's used to it, he's had it done 100 times. You can see him putting his head in my hands. He's stress panting because he's just a little stressed out, even though nothing that he hasn't had done before is going on.
Yep.
And it's just how it is. Like, it's just like he just wants to be where he was in his kennel, you know, relaxing, sleeping, and now he's here, and he's like, I don't like this lady.
He wants to be with his Wolfpack mates, doing their stuff, hanging out, on an adventure, etc. Yeah, when we're on adventures, you know, everybody is concerned, of course, but my number one concern is the dog's safety. And Jim,
trust me, if he didn't have the dog safety at heart, I wouldn't be his groomer.
Exactly.
Then I'd be calling animal control. Don't think groomers don't do that.
Right. Groomers are there for the health of the animal.
Protect those dogs.
So, Jag's getting on the table now.
Trying to. He's holding on for dear life.
I'm trying to maneuver around so you can get a view of him. So, when we go on our adventures, actually, the Jim, who was my co-pilot a lot, you've probably seen him a million times if you watch any of my YouTube or Facebook channels, and Jim says, I know, if it's a dog or me, it's me. I'm the one that's going to bite the dust. I say, if we get to the river and the dog cart's a little heavy, buddy, you're getting out and swimming. That's a running joke, but we have fun. But that's the seriousness we take for the dogs, is their concern. And that's why I travel with others to help assist me with the dogs, because the adventures are pretty far out there in what we do and how we engage.
The bike itself is something you need help with if it gets stuck.
Yeah, sure. But I've done it, believe it or not, when I do it locally on the NCR trail, which is relatively close to the house. I did it for so many years by myself because it's close by. I did everything with my dog Czar and Hudson. Yeah. It is, but I mean, you know, I was a little younger, a little more fit, and I put the bike on top of that. I put the bike on top of the truck myself. I did it all.
I had babies.
There you go.
I'm not the same.
But as we now, I didn't travel as far as we do now to do these adventures up and down the East Coast, and I didn't have the extensive line of bikes I have now, which pushed the envelope of technology to enable us to go to places that we wouldn't have been able to go to without these kind of bikes. And what I mean by that,
husky.
He's the what?
He's the baby husky.
The baby husky.
He's a little.
He is. He's really small for a husky. Oh no, he takes control. Yeah.
He's a tyrant.
He is. He's really small for a husky. He's smaller than most females.
Yeah, he's a baby husky.
He's got the stature of a husky. He's wide and got the husky heaviness, but he's got small legs. So therefore, when he's on the dog cart, we need to take a little precaution because he doesn't have the stride because he's small as the bigger dogs. So he bounces. He bounces to keep up with them, whereas the other dogs are in stride.
I do the same thing when I'm running against tall people.
Exactly. Chase and Zorro are tall. Princess is average height. And then you got the small guy, Jag.
My poor little stumpy legs. When I was pregnant, trying to keep up with everybody, just didn't work.
Oh, by the way, she's spraying on, again, one more time, Danielle, show us the bottle. Sorry.
At the tub. You're fine.
Okay. This is called...
What have I told you about sorry in my truck?
This is called Show Sheen. And this product is a silicone-based product. Is that true?
Yep. And then it's for horses, cattle, dogs, llamas, camels, goats, alpacas, pigs, and sheep.
So it's a little bit
How
for
many animals
everything.
do you want?
Exactly. It's for everything. What it does is it puts a kind of a protectant, if you will.
Yeah.
Almost like a Scotch guard, for lack of a better description, on the
It
coat.
seals into the hair, so stuff kind of just falls off.
Seals into the fiber, so dirt, urine, dust, etc.
All the stuff your dogs go through.
All of the stuff my dogs go through. So, well said. Therefore, they're less. That's why, as I was talking, the mud dries on them, becomes dirt, and falls off of them because of the show sheen. There's different products out there on the market. Danielle prefers this because she used to work with horses, and that's a big horse product.
Yeah, it's originally a horse product.
So Danielle's getting ready. She's got her gear on. Her
Almost. I got my ears.
Yep. And she wears the gear. It's not necessary for us, but she'll wear it because of she does this every day. What's the matter?
I'm just looking at the battery bank. It's saying it's slow.
Slow?
Yeah.
Do we need to do something?
I'll go out there.
You gonna stay with him?
I probably bumped the switch, yeah.
Okay. So there's a lot of mechanics to a truck like this because it's doing a lot. It runs a high-powered blower to dry the dogs. It uses water to get the dogs wet to bathe them, as well as to drain. And there's places to keep all of that on this truck.
In the back.
In the back. And this is a diesel power truck, and it's got all kinds of power to make these things happen. And Danielle's going to tend to it. And I'll just stay with Jag while she does it. If she ever leaves the van with the dog, she'll always
never leave
get
them
me.
unattended.
Right. She'll never leave them unattended. She'll always come and get me or wherever she's at, the people, the family members, to be with the dog. Just to, even though he's safe where he's at and he's secure, but you never want to leave a dog like this unattended. And they also get more stressed when they're unattended. So Jag, again, he's about 9 years old. And his brothers are Chase and Zorro, and his sister is Princess. Not bloodlines. Actually, him and Chase are cousins. Did you fix it?
It should come back on.
What's that?
It should come back on.
Cool.
Just gonna go
They're actually cousins. Him and Chase have, they're cousins by blood. So they're not brothers through blood, but they're cousins. Just those two. Everybody else is just through being part of the family, not blood.
So much.
There you go. There you go. So Danielle's all souped up and ready to turn the dryer on. I'll probably end the broadcast. If you want to see the drying, check the video from the live feed from this morning where we did Princess, as we showed the blowout on her. It's a little harder to broadcast while we're drying because of the loud dryer, blower I should say. And
high velocity dryer.
What's that?
It's an HP dryer, high velocity.
High velocity dryer. And you can see it's kind of small, but it's got a lot of punch. So if you have any questions, comments, leave them in the feed that you're watching on. I'll address them. I address some through this live feed and through through part 1 and part 2, and even part 1 and part 2 of Chase when people had asked some questions. Love to hear from everybody. I appreciate you tuning in. You'll catch us on an adventure the next day or so, and look for lots of posts on all the Wolf Driver Husky related pages. Have a great day, everybody, and thanks so much for